The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 87 of the Daily Swole, talking about booty. We were already on here again. I gotta keep remembering to push the freaking record button. I love that. The topic is the shit. This topic is the shit. It's the poop. We're talking about booty. And I was just saying before I realized that I didn't push record that ass for days. Ass is so important. I could talk about the Daily Swole. I could talk about ass on the Daily Swole every day, forever booty. Let me get into again, and I'll hammer these points in over and over again, and I want to do this repeatedly. The reason why I talk about some of these topics more frequently, it comes out a little bit differently. It always has a different shade or a different direction, but at the same time, different people are watching this at different moments. It's just important. Certain topics need to get said over and over again. So the glutes are super important, the base of the core. The core is from the pelvis all the way to the cervical spine. Why are the glutes important? Because they control the body. If you had the jungle, you know, what animal is called the king of the jungle? The lion. Not the tiger, not the bear, it's the lion. Now, the lion is the king of the jungle, and the glutes are the king of your body. The glutes are the king of your body. The glutes control everything. If you have glutes that are not firing, if you have glutes that are not strong, if you have glutes that are not taking control in terms of stabilizing the pelvis, creating motor function, doing most of the labor, if your glutes are not doing that work, you're going to have lower back problems because you're going to have instability. It's like having a faulty foundation of a building. And you're going to have knee problems most likely because if your hips are weak, you're not stabilizing the femur, which can allow for a lot of movement with the femur, which can cause twisting, torquing, issues with the knee, ACL tears, and meniscal tears, things like that. So you don't want anything wrong with the hips. So what's really important? Stretching the front of the hips and strengthening the back of the hips. So you need to do glute exercises. Squats are great. Lunges are great. You've heard, squats for the butt. The problem is if you don't have glutes, if you don't have glutes firing, squats and lunges aren't going to help you too much because the glutes still aren't going to fire. You're going to feel it more in your hamstrings. You're going to feel it more under the butt rather than in the glutes themselves. That's the problem with people that try to work on their butt. They have compensations and they go right to lunges and squats because they know, those are great glute exercises. Yes, if they're done properly. If they're not, if you already have issues, if you already have compensations and you go right to go right to lunges and you go right to squats, you're going to have problems. You're not going to be hitting the glutes because the glutes are not firing. The whole point is that your body is not triggering that muscle. And because your body is not triggering that muscle, when you go right into an integrated movement like a compound exercise, like a squat, for example, or a lunge, where you're using the hips, the knee, the ankle, using all the core stabilizers all the way up to all the way up the trunk, your body is focusing on all these different muscle groups working synergistically. But since the body is not communicating properly with the glutes are not going to be firing as part of that unit. Okay, the glutes are not going to be firing as part of the unit, so your body will still be putting pressure too much on the hamstrings, and that's why most people have hamstring tears or have repeated injuries because they're overworking assistant muscles. When you do a squat, when you do a lunge, the hamstrings work, yes, and that's a good thing, yes, but they should not be working more than the glutes are. When the glutes are not doing their job, the hamstrings get too much stress, too much pressure, too much overload, and tension can build up, and then you can have injuries of the hamstrings. That's why people sometimes have repeated tears, repeated pulls. Taco Tuesday should be ass day. Well, why do you tell me now, Steve? Don't give me these ideas now. If you guys have suggestions, you can send me a Snapchat, you can send me an email, you can direct message me on Instagram, you can contact me. These are good ideas. Anyway, just don't give me great ideas after the idea. It's too late, unless we talk about butt tomorrow too. So the glutes are the king of the jungle. If your glutes are not firing, a squat and a lunge isn't going to help you. Here's what I want you to do. Number one, go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Swolenormous. This is not a shameless plug. For reason number one, this is my show. You're on Busker, you're on my Periscope, you're listening to me on SoundCloud, iTunes, on Stitcher, you're watching me on YouTube. It's my ish, so I can plug my own stuff as much as I want, because this is a plug. I'm right here, I'm a man plug. I'm plugging up the ozone layer. I'm plugging up the galaxy right now with these fucking guns. These jokes just get more and more epic every time. What I want you to do is go to my YouTube channel, because on my exercise video list, you will see exercises that activate the glutes. What I mean by activate is you're firing those gluteal muscles. You're isolating them and turning them on so that when you start doing integrated movements like a squat, like a lunge, the glutes will fire more, and then those exercises, of which you can go heavier, will build you a better butt. That is the single leg squat, the hip bridge, the plank when done properly with the posterior tilt. Also, in some of those live Periscope videos, the frog bridges, those hip thrusts with the barbell, and also the frog bridges are great for isolating and activating the gluteal muscles. So check out those videos on YouTube. Super important. The base of the spine. This is the foundation. This is the base of your pyramid. Your pyramid, like your Egyptian pyramid, is from your waist all the way up. I can't stress enough. I hear people saying, oh, it's chest day, it's this day. I'm so tired of seeing people walk around without legs. I'm not saying you have to have tree trunks like Tom Platz or these like famous bodybuilders that are just absolutely jacked in the legs. I'm not saying you have to look like a linebacker, but you should have leg development. You shouldn't have compensations. You should be training number one for mobility and for movement. That's why I always push yoga. But you need to do stretching and do yoga, and you also need to do isolation, activation for your glute muscles, so that when you go to your squats, so that when you go to your lunges, you are getting that effect. You are getting those results. You are actually getting more change and more impact on those gluteal muscles, because the body is now firing the glutes. So you have to activate those muscles. You have to turn them on, and then you integrate them with total body movements like the squat and lunge in order to put the pieces of the puzzle all together. Okay, it's very important. You have to turn it on first, and then you have to integrate it. If you want to work on your butt and you have compensations with the hip and you don't know it, and you just start going for lunges and squats, you will know if you start feeling it more like under your butt, like kind of like where the hamstring ties underneath the glute. You kind of feel it under your thigh, like in the upper thigh rather than in your butt, actual glute muscle. If you feel it under your butt more, or like in the hamstring more, you have compensations and you're not firing the proper muscles, and you can lead yourself down the road to more compensations and more risk for injury. So not good. Fire the glutes, turn them on, isolate them, and then go to more compound integrated movements like the squat, deadlift, and the lunge. I will stay for a few minutes after on Busker and the Periscope. Booty Day, Monday Booty Day. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 87 of the Daily Mother Swole. Talking about that booty. I'll see you all tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern time on the Daily Swole. Peace out.